Yeah, that's us. Good morning. It's 9 to noon.
I love my country. Yes, I do. I was born in the USA, the red, white, and blue. If you fight with an American, you fight with me too. I put my hand on my heart, pledge allegiance to you. I love my country.
Welcome to the 9 to noon radio presentation on a Wednesday. Two-time Olympic hockey player David Backes, Minnesotan David Backes, joining us at 11 o'clock today. Parker Fox also will make his daily appearance from Milan coming up shortly. But we begin with the very best. It's Russo Radio. Michael Russo of The Athletic and theathletic.com.
Russo Radio.
Thanks for helping. Are you enjoying Milan?
I am enjoying Milan. Weather's been incredible. City's been incredible. Arena that was we were also worried about that it would even be able to stand up and not crumble while we were in here. It's incredible. So it's been a blast so far. And you mentioned Parker Fox. I've gotten to cover the U.S. women so far, and they are just running through this tournament as dominant as can be.
Yeah, Team USA, the women's game versus Canada, 5-0 for the red, white, and blue, sheer domination. Swept Canada in the rivalry series, too. Russo Radio covered that from, like, Edmonton and Buffalo and other places. Are the United States of America and the women's hockey team, is this an unstoppable machine?
I think so. I asked John Wroblewski that after the game last night. I basically said, do you feel like you have a bye right now into the gold medal round, which, of course, he was not going to buy into and is certainly going to try to keep his women from being feeling as overconfident as maybe I am. But I don't see how they lose. To me, and this is what I wrote coming into this tournament, as, the United States is so deep that they just, you look at Canada right now, they're without Marie-Philippe Poulin, and they have no shot just with one player out of the lineup.
Right.
Where I don't know if you can name a player that would be out of the United States lineup that would absolutely make them crumble. They're getting goals up and down their lineup from everything from their 13th forward to their 7th defenseman. And they just are running through. Canada didn't even look like they belonged on the same ice last night. And this has been 5 straight blowouts that I've covered of the United States beating them. So I really think something completely out of the norm would have to happen for the United States not to win the gold medal in this. But look, I mean, in a sport where one bad goaltending outing or some bad penalties or, an incredible performance by Poulin if she comes back from injury, obviously that could change things. But let's put it this way. Nobody is going to be able to beat Canada and the U.S., and so they'll, without a doubt, wind up in the gold medal game.
And with Golden Gopher Abby Murphy and the no-look backhand pass to Bilka for the 2-0 lead, I mean, now we're out here just clowning. I mean, that Harvey the blue liner started it, and the no-look pass to Bilka, I mean, we're just showing off now, right?
Yeah, I mean, from everything I understand, Caroline Harvey and Abby Murphy are going to be 1-2 in the next PWHL draft, and the two of them were just unbelievable the last couple games. Abby, to your point, it was like the perfect Abby Murphy game. She's a bit of the shift disturber and an antagonist on the ice, plays a lot like Brad Marchand and or the Kachucks, and it was like the perfect game. She has 3 assists, but she draws 4 penalties and gets under the skin of the opponent. I know that Cassie Campbell on the CBC broadcast last night was bemoaning the fact that she thinks that Abby, dives on the ice or goes down easily. I know that Canada after the game were accusing her of that. Taylor Heisey basically said that these are hard-earned penalties and that she is not diving, but she understands that's what they're her line mates being accused of. But Abby, as we saw with that incredible assist earlier this season against Minnesota State, she is just a sensational hockey player. And as Troy Ryan, the Canada coach, said last night, there's not many players around in hockey that could have the rat mentality that she might have on the ice, but yet back it up with the skill. And if you can't beat it, you better not engage in it. And he basically said after the game that the Canadian women have no ability to play that type of style. So you better turn the other way, or she's going to be very effective. And so far, that's what Abby Murphy has looked like in this tournament.
Mr. Russo Radio. So who is Caroline Harvey? And is she one of the, if not the best defensemen in the world? I mean, that domination yesterday was second to none.
Yeah, without a doubt. She's almost considered a pet project of Ellen Hughes, who's, Jack and Quinn and Luke's mom and works for U.S. Women, huge mentor of Caroline Harvey. Caroline has gone over to Ann Arbor where they live in the off season to train with them as well. And, she's a star at the University of Wisconsin, but she's not just a young kid. She's 23 years old. This is her second Olympics. Her last Olympics, she didn't get a lot of playing time. Now she's turned into one of the biggest stars around. And they call her the fourth Hughes sibling. And one reason is because she plays a style that is extremely like, Quinn and Luke from the back end. Has the ability to dance the blue line, has the ability to jump up in the play, has the ability to just do all sorts of things with the puck that other defenders can only dream of. And so far in the last two games, she's coming off, she's had in 24 hours, 2 3-point games, and really could have had many, many more points. She is a high event player that doesn't make a ton of mistakes. And so far, she's been absolutely awesome.
Is she considered an offensive defenseman as this team goes?
Yeah, definitely. But I remember last night there was one play where it was a 2-on-1, and I turned to my editor who was sitting to my right, and I said, "Watch her break this up right now." And she did. So she also has the ability against really good Canadian players to play on the defensive side of the puck, not unlike Quinn. So she is without a doubt a incredibly good offensive defenseman. As I mentioned, might go number one in the PWHL draft. But she's got the ability to play both ends of the ice.
Michael, Canada's captain, as you mentioned, Marie-Philippe Poulin, she missed yesterday's game. Canada had just 4 shots in the first period. What do you feel that's mostly due to the captain not playing?
No, I covered those 4 rivalry series games that she was in, and the United States had its way with Canada in those games as well. So if Canada was using that as an excuse yesterday, I think it's not a valid excuse. I just think the United States is that good. They're young, they're fast, they're big, and that's basically a lot of things that Canada is not. They're old and slower, and they might have more experience, but if you actually look at how deep the United States women are, they've got a ton of experience, led by Hillary Knight, who's been in 5 Olympics, right, and Kendall Coyne and Megan Keller. I mean, there's just a lot of really, really good players on the United States. And so I just think that, this team's a wagon. They've now outscored their 4 opponents in this tournament 20-1. They're 3 shutouts in their 4 games. Look, I get, and I've covered a lot of men's tournaments where the United States always seems to beat Canada in the preliminaries and then lose when it matters. We've seen that in the 4 Nations. We saw that in the 2010 Olympics. We've seen that many, many times with the men. But I can't even envision what would have to happen for the United States not to be wearing gold at the end of this tournament.
But and still, with the United States and Canada, I mean, these guys absolutely should meet for the gold, right? Or is there somebody out there with a puncher's chance?
I cannot even imagine it. I have never been so underwhelmed by watching other teams play than in this tournament. I mean, there's just 2 powers and then a bunch of has-beens. I've covered every women's game that I've covered so far that wasn't Canada-US. The shot differential was like by 30. I covered a Switzerland-Canada game the other day where Canada outshot them 55-6. Let's put it this way. In the third period, when Switzerland got their 4th shot, I absolutely hit the table when I realized that all of my colleagues were out to dinner while I was at this game. I just cannot imagine that somehow a Finland or an Italy or a Sweden or Switzerland is going to somehow be able in this next round, in the medal rounds, to knock off Canada or U.S. So I think it's just, as I wrote in my story, I think both these nations have a bye to the gold medal game, and it's a big reason why tomorrow night there's no way that they're going to risk Poulin against Finland, because that should be an easy win. And most likely they won't risk Poulin in the quarterfinals as well. I think that their goal is to try to get her ready for the semifinal.
And lastly, on the ladies, and dumb question, and I apologize for it. I could find it online, but I wanted to hear your answer. With the ladies, when is checking permitted, and does PWHL experience give some of those ladies an advantage of any sort?
First of all, I think it's the $1 million question. I mean, even the women talk about like they don't even know. Pretty much you can't. I mean, the one thing I will say is watching a lot of the rivalry series games and these games. I mean, you are allowed to check. The question is, can it be an illegal check? And essentially, if you run into somebody on a hard hit, almost like a charge, you're going to get called. If you slam them against the wall, you're going to get called. But you are allowed to hit players and things like that. So a lot of the women. I mean, what's cool about this tournament is with both Canada and the U.S. is you have kind of a mix of collegiate players, amateur players, and professional players. And then same thing with the officiating. It's even though there's PWHL refs here that are from the United States and Canada, even some of the European referees call games in the PWHL. So it's more of the standard of the PWHL here in the European game or in the international type of game where they're calling penalties. And so, but I will say, I mean, it's the one thing that I think frustrates coaches, players alike, is that you need to try to figure out early in every single game, both at the PWHL level and then here at international, what is the standard that's going to be called by the referees, and then try to adapt your type of game throughout the contest to make sure that you're not getting called for illegal hits. But you're right. I mean, there's some. Taylor Heisey was called for an illegal hit last night that I'm like, are you kidding me?
Right.
I've seen that same hit like 4 different times in the last week. So, I think it can become frustrating at times for some of the athletes.
The men, the USA men, get center stage starting tomorrow around 2:10. Cornfields, Latvia, 5 NHL players. The USA should motor past Latvia, right?
Yeah, they should. But I will say the men's that's a lot more. It's a lot closer. I've covered enough international hockey in my day and watched enough international hockey in my day to know that there are definitely upsets, and that's where a bad goaltending performance or a red hot player can change things. So I don't think the United States or any of these lesser teams, that when you're going up against a lesser team, whether you're a powerhouse like Sweden or Finland or Canada, if you're going up against anything from Latvia to Italy to France to Switzerland and Germany and Czechia and Slovakia and these countries that really do have really good NHL players,
yeah.
You can't take it for granted. So I do think that, the United States are going to practice here in about 35 minutes on the practice rink here at the main rink that we're at. And they've got to make sure that they're ready to play and not taking anybody lightly.
That's pretty sweet. Okay, so you laid it out nicely. I want to get into the odds and ends of it quickly. So the USA and Canada seem to be absolutely the best 2 teams on the men's side, at least from a wagering standpoint. Like Canada's favored to win the gold at plus 115, then the USA at plus 175. Then you go all the way to 6.5 to 1 for Sweden as the third choice. So, I mean, odds-wise, USA and Canada should be playing for that gold, right?
Yeah, but again, I mean, I think anything can happen. There's no guarantee that U.S. and Canada play, because they're not in the same groups for a rare time. So, we're all expecting that, but who knows if it actually happens. And there's a lot of teams, like I was talking to Kirill Kaprizov before I left town, and he's convinced that Czechia is going to be one of the biggest wild cards in this tournament. I talked to Nico Sturm, who plays for Germany. He says, "Look out for Switzerland." So, I mean, there's a lot of countries here. When you have teams that have guys like Leon Draisaitl and Kevin Fiala and all these countries that have different types of superstars on the NHL. I mean, look at David Pastrnak and with Czechia. So I just think that it's going to be a tournament where I think anything can happen, and it's not at all a guarantee that the U.S. and Canada play in the gold medal game.
Right. Hey, Michael has a bunch of really, really good stories at The Athletic and theathletic.com. But one I was texting with him about yesterday, really enjoyed. Wild at the Olympics, a punchable face hanging with Snoop Dogg, and a chance at a pile of medals. For those who missed that one, co-written by you and Joe, what did you like about it?
Yeah, I mean, that was a fun one. I led off with this anecdote of me being at the mix zone, and the one cool thing about being the mix zone here, there are apps on your phone that you can put it on and have it translate what things are said. But the cool thing is that they allow the native reporters to talk to their players, and then they always do an English side after. So I was sitting at the front of the mix zone listening to Philip Gustafsson talk to one of the Swedish reporters, but I started to zone off and I was like looking the other way. And then all of a sudden I hear the Swedish reporter in a spew of Swedish words go punchable face. And I just turned like almost got whiplash when I turned back at Gustafsson, and Gustafsson saw it and just started hysterically laughing because he realized right away that I knew the reporter was asking about Eriksson Ek. So it was pretty cool. The U.S. players, I was texting with Brock Faber and Quinn Hughes and these guys about this yesterday, but the U.S. guys were in the Olympic Village, and Snoop Dogg showed up yesterday and took a bunch of pictures with the Jake Ottingers and the Zach Werenskis and all the, the Kachuk brothers and Fabes and Boldy and Quinn were all part of it as well. So they got to meet Snoop yesterday, and I know Snoop was apparently going to go to the U.S. Winter House, which is, by the way, sponsored by Starbucks. So I took a tour of it the other day just to get my free Starbucks. So that was cool. And, and then tonight Sweden opens up against Italy, the host nation here, and so I'll get to watch 4 Minnesota Wild players play at 9:10 p.m. local time here, so I'm looking forward to that.
Coaches closing practices at the Olympics to the media. Until Sweden and Canada did it recently, I don't think coaches have closed practices for nearly 30 years. What?
Yeah, I've never seen it. Not with the NHL players in it. I've never heard of the closed practices. It felt like Canada women was started, and then all of a sudden Canada and Sweden men and even Denmark men did it the other day. Like, who cares about trying to get a bunch of intel on Denmark? So I all of a sudden they announced while Canada is closing practice that the United States was closing practice, and I texted somebody with the USA Hockey. I'm like, what the heck is this? You guys made fun of Canada when they were doing this, and it was news to this person. And then suddenly 5 minutes later, they reopened practice. So, I like to say that I took one for the team there with all the reporters and reopened United States practice the other day. But yeah, it's ridiculous. I mean, they don't want, and I get it. I mean, Canada's keeping stuff close to the vest, and suddenly you got, schlubs like me tweeting to essentially Canada what the U.S. lines are the other day. So I get it. But I just think that, look, it's hockey. It's amateur hour at times. If you're sitting there worried so much about the other nations watching or getting some intel on your practices. And so, practices are now open.
Well, all the players are so high end. When I read that, at the Athletic, the first thing I thought of was I didn't think they were hiding scheme or strategy. I didn't think they were hiding lines. And maybe there's some players nicked up. Maybe there's some players that have some bumps and bruises. Yeah, right.
Yeah, I'll tell you one thing. Watching U.S. practice right now, I can tell you Jacob Slavin seemingly can't turn left right now. So I think there are guys, nicked up, and that could be definitely part of it. And so, it's not a big deal. We're still able to get our stuff done. I was just upstairs in the press box writing a really cool story for Friday on the time that Quinn Hughes and Brady Tkachuk billeted with Keith Tkachuk for 2 years as teenagers, and some of the stories in this story are hilarious. So, I'm still getting my access that I need to be able to write stories, and so are all the other reporters here.
This is
Russo Radio
from Milan.
Hey, you mentioned tweeting or posting lines to Canada when you were putting out the U.S. line setup. With that said, when I'm looking at it from a couple days ago, Mr. Russo, as a Wild fan, I'm like, hold on here. Why are Hughes and Faber on separate pairings for the blue liners? What's up with that, Mr. Russo?
Oh, geez.
Yeah, well, we'll see if that's continued. The fact today here when we get on the ice, they were off yesterday, but I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that Slavin and Faber were so good at the coronations. And, I know there's some people that think that Slavin carried Faber. It couldn't be further from the truth. And Quinn and McAvoy, the one thing I'm writing a story later in this tournament about how, Charlie McAvoy and Brock Faber almost look alike, not just the way that they play, but actually look. And, I think that Mike Sullivan probably looks as Charlie McAvoy as being a hybrid of Brock Faber, and that they're going to have the same type of chemistry, both Quinn and Faber, and then go back to what they know in a shutdown pair in Slavin and Faber. And the one thing about Faber, too, and Slavin is that they're going to kill penalties most likely together. So now it just keeps things a little more organized where if you have them both out there on the kill, now they don't have to sit there and try to, get their defense pairings back organized after a kill is over. So I think that's probably the biggest reason. When you
look at how things are shaking up here, just pragmatically as a guy that knows the game, loves the game, what's your favorite line in that group? Whether it's the Kachucks up top, you got Gensel and Boldy with Matthews. Like, what is there a line where you're like, wow? I mean, this thing is a freaking bazooka of talent, and it's going to be high flying over there.
I think their second and third lines. I think Austin Matthews centering Matt Boldy and Jake Gensel is going to be awesome. I mean, we know how good Jake was in the Four Nations tournament, and we know what Boldy has done this season for the Minnesota Wild. And then if they can get Austin going, who has been on fire lately, I think that has the makings of a great line. And I think all Wild fans know my absolute affinity for Dylan Larkin, and Dylan's playing with Kyle Connor and Tate Thompson. And I think that has the makings of being an extraordinary line as well. So I just think that the U.S. has a really good team. And now it's just a matter of putting it together on the ice and going up against the Canada wagon where, we've gotten a look at their lines. And, they've got Celebrini playing with McDavid and Tom Wilson. They got McDavid, McKinnon, and Sidney Crosby on 3 separate lines. I mean, talk about depth.
Come on.
That Canada team is going to be really, really hard to beat in this tournament.
Speaking of lines, how do... Well, generally speaking, because all coaches are different for sure, but how do coaches determine lines and how to mix and match players?
I think it's just what they feel are chemistry or complementary attributes. So, if you take like the Austin Matthews line right away with a Jake Gensel and a Matt Boldy, you look at the complements of each guy. You got a guy with Austin Matthews that's got an incredible shot. You got Matt Boldy, who's as good a playmaker as he is a shooter, and you got Gensel, who's for an undersized guy, he is as good as it gets when it comes to going to the hard areas of the ice and scoring dirty goals. So I think, there's a good example of a line that they feel that complements each other. So I think they just look at sort of trying to figure out, if you look at the way the Minnesota Wild do it, right? They feel like Zuccarello and Kaprizov, you have a playmaker right to, a goal scorer in Kirill. And so I just think that, sometimes things have to be mixed up. And a lot of times when we tweet out lines, fans get up in arms, but you got to remember it's early in the tournament. It's just like when we, tweet out the day one training camp lines and people go crazy. I remember this year when Danilo Urov started on the 5th line and Wild fans, didn't like that. But, just give it time. And usually things change pretty quickly, especially in a short tournament. We saw last year Kyle Connor in the Four Nations started on the top line, wound up scratched in the final. So it just that's the way it works.
Seems with the goaltenders for USA and Canada, former Wild member and Stanley Cup winner Darcy Kemper for Canada and Jeremy Swayman for the USA. Maybe they don't see the ice, but like who has better goaltending and why? Hellebuck, Ottinger, and Swayman for the USA, or Bennington, Logan Thompson, and Darcy?
Yeah, I think the United States, but that could almost be a trickier thing because now you got to make the right call. Where Canada, I think it's pretty easy. They'll probably start with Bennington because, give him the benefit of the doubt because even though he's having an absolutely ghastly season for the St. Louis Blues, has been statistically and analytically the worst goaltender in the National Hockey League. He did win the Four Nations last year. So my guess is that tomorrow night we're going to see him start as their number one, but eventually I think it's going to evolve into Logan Thompson, who's been one of the best goaltenders in the National Hockey League this year. From the United States standpoint, it's complicated because Ottinger and Hellebuck actually have not performed as well this season as Jeremy Swayman, but Swayman didn't even get a second of ice time in the Four Nations. So, Connor Hellebuck played well in the Four Nations. He is the reigning MVP of the NHL. So my guess is that they'll start with him tomorrow night, but I don't think it will take much to eventually, if he struggles at all, go into an Ottinger or Jeremy Swayman. So I think that if you look overall at body of work, the USA has the best goaltending in the tournament, but again, you got to make the right call, and in a short tournament, if you make a mistake or a goaltender just doesn't perform, you could be in trouble really quickly.
Time for 2 more.
Michael, this is a business trip for Team USA. They want to go and get the gold, but Bill Guerin, Mr. Hines over there, maybe this is a nice little scouting opportunity with the trade deadline over the horizon as well. Obviously focused on what's in front of them, but maybe Billy G's doing a little Wild-related business while he's there too. What do you think?
Yeah, well, I'll give you a quick anecdote. The first night that this first night that Billy was in town, I got here earlier than him. The team Switzerland got the women's team got some players with norovirus, and Finland had a norovirus outbreak. Oh. So I sent Billy Guerin a text message just asking, hey, with norovirus going on in the village, is there a chance that you pull your guys out and put them in a hotel? At the same time, I sent Doug Armstrong, the St. Louis Blues GM, the same exact text. Billy replies with a picture of Doug Armstrong, and Doug Armstrong replies with a picture of Bill Guerin. So I sent them each text while they were together.
That's awesome.
So right away, I'm mortified that they knew that I sent them the exact same text at the same time. But then I tried to soften it up by asking both of them, have you guys traded Robert Thomas to Minnesota yet? So there's a good example. There are 10 NHL GMs here between Canada and the U.S. These GMs really have nothing to do while they're here other than be here. So you might as well talk shop. And so, Chris Drury is on the United States staff, right? So you think that at some point, Bill Guerin's not going to talk to Chris Drury about Vincent Trocheck. Vincent Trocheck, who, by the way, in the team picture the other day, when the Wild were doing their team picture, all of a sudden, jokingly, in front of everybody, sarcastically tried to skate over to the Wild picture to get in it because he so believes that there's a chance that he's traded to Minnesota. So that created some comic relief as well. So there's no doubt that when the trade freeze ends on February 22nd around midnight, that there's going to be a flurry of trades probably right away in the NHL with the trade deadline right around the corner. And it wouldn't shock me if Billy does have serious conversations while over here, both in person and by phone, with people that are not here, and tries to get a jump on some of the moves out there.
What we heard right there, ladies and gentlemen, over the last minute, 26 seconds of this interview with
Russo Radio
is why they're all running for second. All right, Michael, enjoy the games. I'll be texting you later and probably talk to you next week. All right?
Yep, definitely. See you, PA. See you, Nordo.
Yep. See you, man.
See you, bud. See you, brother. Michael Russo. Russo Radio. So I texted this guy and I texted the other guy, and I was mortified when these general managers knew that I had sent them the same text, and I'm getting intel on Robert Thomas and Trocheck involved. I mean, they've all been left in the wake of a keen turn of speed displayed by Russo Radio, who strides away to victory. TimberTech.com. What's on deck 9 to noon? Includes myriad things, including Bikes Bites Around the Corner. That's followed by PFox from Milan, and that's followed by the columnist in studio, David Backus. Blaine, Minnesota, go crazy. David Backus, storied NHL career, by the way. Holy cow, played till he was like 38, 39 years old, and two-time Olympian, including 2010 with Parisi when they got the silver. David Backus joins about 11 o'clock. Nordo produces, and I'm Paul Allen. And that first segment was the Steve's Appliances Marathon segment commemorating President's Day.
You think it ain't?
President's Day on the horizon. Ooh, hold on. You got to pull something down.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
3-2. President's Day on the horizon. Damn, what is this? What happened to my country?
Sitting at a stoplight.
Hey.
Okay.
Oh, the other one has. When I get into the Laron, what's the Laron? Well, it's the Prophet, and I start looking for my love, my country. I mean, you just marvel when I'm in that machine, having no idea what I'm doing and constantly finding bad things just so I can wait for, hey, just so you can wait for, hey, President's Day's around the corner, expecting Allah. And I didn't get that.
Yeah, well, and then we end with barnyard noises at some point.
I love my country.
Oh, there it is. President's Day sale.
Yes, I do.
Steve's Appliances, stevesappliances.com. Save up to 40%. And Receive up to $800 cash back on certain scenarios. President's Day, get them appliances. Save about $1,000 right now on a GE stainless refrigerator, courtesy of your country.
I love my country.
And Steve's Appliances and Steve'sAppliances.com. That's Nordo. And he has the funny money. He got the honey money over there, and here it comes.
Well, I will say this, nothing funny about the chance to get some bonus bucks in your pocket with the National Cash Contest. Go to KFAN.com, enter the keyword bonus. You could think of it as a bonus. You enter that keyword in at KFAN.com, you get some bonus bucks. It's bonus. That's the keyword, KFAN.com.
No place I would rather be when push comes to shove. I love my country.
Wolves.
You know, our favorite hockey team may be on a break, but Wild Wednesdays are here to stay. You can use the talkback feature on the iHeartRadio app. Tell us who your Wild MVP is at the break. So is it Kaprizov?
That's a great question. That's a good
Matt
talker
Boldy?
for tomorrow. I think I'm probably get 2 segments of talkbacks.
Yeah.
Maybe set it up, make it a Vike Bite short segment, get some talkbacks for that's a good talker right there. I mean, Kaprizov would be favored, don't you think?
I think Kaprizov would be favored. Could you? I mean, I guess betting wise favored then
Yeah.
Boldy. But what about Quinn Hughes?
Right. I mean,
I think he's got to be the MVP.
He's circumnavigating the field and passing entrance stride by stride.
Yeah, and it's not just like, okay, in the end we need number 97 doing his thing, budding, emerging superstar in Matt Boldy. But this whole this whole thing changed when Quinn Hughes shows up and just completely changed the frame of our entire blue line. So, I don't know. If I was leaving a talkback, I'd say, hey, this is Eric from Chaska. I just wanted to say that I think the Quinn Hughes move really changed this team in 25-26. So I think my MVP would be Quinn Hughes at the break. And hopefully Billy G finds an extra little toy to play with while he's in Italy. You do that on the free iHeartRadio app. You might win Wild and Lightning tickets for March 3rd. So that's the whole bid on a Wild Wednesday. Give us a talk back for tickets. KFAN.com keyword contest for more info.
Wild Wednesday, and we are one Wednesday with Team USA, so don't forget to leave.
I love my country.
I only get to do this really once every 4 years, a little bit every 2 years with the Summer Olympics.
Yeah.
A lot of vocal maintenance days in the summer. But Seahawk lead vocals. Winter Olympics taking place. Team USA playing tomorrow. Here they come. Norda loves his country. Mm-hmm. Let's see what we got. PFox and 10. What you got?
Yeah, we got a couple. I'll throw a couple Vike Bites at you here.
All righty.
And I'm going to start with, it's this time of year. Jordan Dejani of CBS Sports. Off-season crazy predictions, PA. Here's what he wrote. 10 crazy predictions into the 2026. Justin Jefferson being traded to the Buffalo Bills. So, I mean, come on, man. I know we finished 9-8. It stinks.
Well, didn't he qualify it? Outlandish crazy predictions.
Yes, the crazy was a word used. Yeah. Well, man, we're trying to figure out what the path forward is for Brzezinski, and now you're trying to take Jets away from us. He does write this though. If you're wearing tinfoil and you got the board with the tacks and the yarn, and you're trying to connect all of the various dots, Joe Brady. His name popped up on NFL radars. He's now the head coach of the Bills.
LSU guy.
Well, why did he pop up on NFL radars? Because he was the passing game coordinator and wide receivers coach in 2019 at Louisiana State University.
I mean, with Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, and Terrace Marshall Jr., there's really a lot of work to do with those guys.
So the crazy prediction would be is the Bills make an aggressive move to pair its new coach with a buddy of his, sending the Vikings a package of picks. You know how the Bills, they got Keon Coleman. That's like a healthy scratch. You have, Shakir. Yep. Shakir was their main man. Khalil Shakir in a lot of spots.
You got your guy who caught the pass to beat us off the chest of a Caleb Evans when he played for the Chargers.
Oh, is it
Joshua Palmer?
Josh Palmer.
Mm-hmm.
They had, and then some cat, I forget, Favors maybe? Flavor? I forget what his name was, but he tore his ACL. So
Flava Flav, he ran a 4.240 at the combine, but a 4.440 in the NFL. Why? because he had that big clock hanging around his neck.
I always love that one.
Tell anybody about it in Indianapolis.
But it's Shavers, excuse me. Tyrell Shavers.
Oh, Tyrell Shavers.
Shavers, flavors. I don't know.
Here's the question. Eric, here's the reality.
Oh, okay. Hang on, pen and a pad.
How old are you, 41?
I'm 41.
You've been waiting 41 years for the reality to be shared with you, right?
You can see the look in my eye. I'm excited.
Here's the question. It's a serious question. Are they all with the Minnesota Vikings? Everybody under contract?
Yeah.
Are they all untouchable?
Oh my gosh.
Are they all untouchable?
As long as Kevin O'Connell is coach of the Minnesota Vikings, I think Justin Jefferson is untouchable.
Okay, what if 4 first-round draft picks are off?
Okay, well, I mean,
that's ridiculous. It's stupid for me saying there's the reality. I'm stupid and you're not.
We enjoyed your time here, Justin.
Yeah. Geez, I thought you almost were going to say we enjoyed your time here, Paul.
Well,
I always love that one.
Shut up. Just shut up.
I saw something, though. I can't remember whether it was Rap Sheet, but alluding to the idea that I think whether it's the Players Association, I don't know the who writes this particular rule, but they were anticipating that there's going to be a push this offseason to increase the number of first round picks that you can offer into the future
to 5
from 3 to 5.
Yeah, whatever.
Is that a Justin Jefferson related maneuver? Is that
JJ?
Is that being headed by, what is it, Mr. Bean, Brandon Bean over there in northern New York?
That's a very good question. I'm just wondering, are they all untouchable? Yeah. And, well, okay. And I ain't answering it. Right. So, hey, 6, no. Talk, no. Eat, no. Twit, no. Are they all untouchable?
Yeah.
Or should they all? Welcome to a Thursday 9 to noon. The way the Minnesota Vikings finished last season, is every player on the team untouchable?
Oh my gosh.
Talkback's free iHeart radio or audio or radio app.
Well, it's the one, and we'll
download it now.
We'll never know the answer to this, and these are some of the dumb things that sit in my head from time to time.
Ooh.
Brzezinski and all the work that he's done for this team over time, the immense amount of respect that they have, the equity that he's built, and all of those things.
Olympic hockey's in the air.
Olympic hockey is in the air. This is sweet.
I just saw Tarasenko.
Look at that.
I think I saw Vladdy. No, maybe not. I think my man's name is Kako. Hey. You see 84?
Yeah, I see him.
My man's name is Kako.
I see him. I absolutely see him.
I love my Kako. We got to call Parker.
Oh, Brzezinski, though, how are the reins completely off? Like when you move on, can he go get, the highest of high end? Can he trade 3 first rounders into the future after the draft you're supposedly going to? I just wonder what those dynamics are in the short term. It's
great question.
Fix the cap, man. We got to get back in black. We got to fix the draft. We better have everything laced up and ready to go for late April. But please don't trade our superstar wide receiver. Please don't leverage half a decade into the future for a quarterback. I just wonder if there are guidelines or guardrails in terms of what Briz is going to be doing.
Coming up with my next 35-minute phone conversation with a member at Twin Cities Orthopedics Performance Center, Paul Allen asks said executive about this Justin Jefferson conundrum.
I always love that.
That ain't really a conundrum.
No, it's not.
PFox, Parker Fox, the unofficial, official, yet official 9 to noon correspondent from Milan for mostly Team USA women's hockey. Why? His fiance's on the squad. She's Taylor Heising. She's really good. He's going to join us from Bacio Bella Academy territory next. Hey, Parker, what's going on, PFox?
Ciao, ciao. How we doing, you guys?
Ciao, ciao, my brother. Guess right after the radio show, guess what I'm doing?
What you got going on?
I'll be on Chicago Avenue in Minneapolis, stopping by First Resource Bank to say hello to Cifuentes. What do you think of that?
The Fuentes in the house. Let's go. I love it. Make sure you tell everybody I say hello over there and I miss them.
You And I'm making a guess here, but I don't know. You sound a little groggy right now. Big celebration after beating Canada yesterday?
Big celebration, yeah. It was a fun night. One of those, late games around here. But, like I mentioned to you, the group chat was rocking and rolling. We found a little bar to go to, and everybody had a great time.
The family group chat for Team USA women's family and friends, it's phenomenal. Now, that game yesterday, Parker, and we were texting during the game, genuinely excited for you and your fiance. Had it been a fight, man, they would have stopped it in the second round. Just like being in the arena, how great was that?
It was awesome. I'll tell you what, either there was a lot of Canadian fans there or there was a lot of locals that don't like the U.S. because it was definitely a prominent Canadian fan base there at the game. So we had to fight a little bit of that. We had to fight the energy, the excitement from the start. But then when the girls kind of got started, it was dominant, PA. And yeah, you mentioned you and I were texting. We mentioned the loss of Captain Marie-Philip for Canada, which makes a big impact. But I told Taylor today, I said, it doesn't matter who you guys play. I feel like if you play that way, nobody can beat you.
Your fiance took, it was dicey, but took an illegal hit penalty into the second period. Was she cranky after the game or jubilant due to the Canadian butt whooping?
She was fired up. She was fired up to get the win. That's obviously most important. We talked about me learning more and more about hockey and kind of the ins and outs. But one thing I do know is you don't want to take a penalty with 7 seconds left in the period. So I don't think she needs my advice from that. But I did think her skate got, slipped out a little bit. I don't know if that penalty gets called if it's a tighter game, PA. But that's hockey for you, right? Everything's got to be physical. It's got to be fast. It's got to be violent. And you have to play with one speed, especially when you're playing at this level. This is the Olympics. You can't hold anything back. You got to leave it all out there. But she knows that the business isn't over, right? She knows that that's just a preliminary round, and Canada's going to watch film. They're going to come back, and hopefully it's a Canada-U.S. finals. I think everybody wants to see that, right? You want to see the two best teams in the world go at each other, and I know that if it is that kind of game, I think it's going to be a little tighter of a game. But like I mentioned earlier, it's USA or nothing. If they play that way, they'll beat anybody in the world.
Do you know who Alan Roach is?
Of course.
The Vox of all Voxes ever to Vox. So I'm texting with him yesterday during the game because he's the in-arena Vox of all Voxes ever to Vox. It was so crazy, man, because I'll mess around with him and say, hey, don't forget 27 is Heezy, not Heisey. LOL, love you. Let's get together soon. And then 10 minutes after I sent that, 27 gets that penalty at the end of the second period. So I had to listen to my TV closely to the background to make sure he didn't say Heezy. And he's like, penalty 27, Taylor Heisey. 2 minutes. Have you met Alan?
I haven't met him yet. No, I see, I see his work and I know he's excellent at what he does, but no, we haven't met yet. I'd love to meet him at some point.
It's a cinch, Parker. He's in the same arena where you're watching these games, and he was 5 feet from Taylor when she was in the box. So he's got to be ice level close to the penalty box.
Yeah, I've seen him down there. It's kind of a long way. It's a different stadium, right? So you probably got about 10 to 15 feet from the stands to the actual rink of walk area for whether that be camera personnel, social media people. So it'd be hard to get him during a game, but maybe I'll catch him on the concourse or walking out of the arena at some point.
I'm just going to read to you. It's going to sound like a question, but it was the text I sent you yesterday. That Abby Murphy no-look pass to Bilka, though. Holy cow!
How about that one, huh? Yeah, it's, Abby Murphy, we've talked about her on the show a good deal, right, PA? And we saw the move that she had a couple weeks ago, probably a month now, picking the puck up and putting it back down, going through the defender's legs. So not only is she such a great talent, but she has fun out there. And I think that's the unique thing about hockey, right, is so many sports you just got to be technically sound, and that's obviously so important. But she's got some swagger to her, and that line is really working out really well with Taylor and Murph and Bilka, and they're really flying around and having fun. And you got to have that to your game. I think it's so important when you're able to just go out there and play free. And I think that pass was an example of it, and it got a lot of hype on the old X machine, and it rightfully deserving so.
Why aren't you at the Slovakia-Finland game right now? Slovakia just took a 1-0 lead on a sweet goal by a player named Slavkovsky or something? Slavkovsky?
Okay, yeah, I didn't go to that one. Taylor and I are just gearing up. We're going to go get a little dinner down by the Duomo here. It's her day off, so we're going to get dinner tonight together, and then they practice tomorrow, and then, things get pretty serious right here around the corner with the elimination game. So win or go home type of atmosphere, type of attitude. So we're going to get some good dinner tonight, fuel her up, and taking a little break from the Olympics tonight, which I think is important as well.
Absence makes the heart grow fonder. Parker Fox from Milan. Now, listen closely to this, okay, surrogate?
You got it.
Your role in this whole gold medal winning run is key, and here's why. Taylor plays a lot. 27 is key. Your role is that of her fiance, best friend, hype guy, and shoulder if she's upset with something game related. Parker, you hold a key role to this equation. Do you understand that?
I got to keep telling myself that, right? I got to keep now that I'm done playing, I got to have some sort of responsibility when it comes to athletics. But no, PA, you've met her enough and you've been around her enough to know that to get to this level, you got to be different, right? You got to be different mentally and the way that you approach the game. And I truly think that she's the epitome of an Olympian. I think there's a reason why she's on this team. There's a reason why, she's up there and leading the team in minutes every single night. And she knows what to do. And I'm here if there's anything else, right? I'm here for all the extra. But I think it's so great. It's just awesome to be here and be a part of it. And even though it's just a small little part of it, I think I've talked about it kind of enough already, but it's truly special, and I'm grateful for every moment of it.
So I heard you, Parker, you popped on with the power trip this morning and you were talking about figure skating. Now Christy Yamaguchi, the Nancy Kerrigans, the Scott Hamiltons, the Brian Boitanos of the world. I haven't caught up with figure skating as it is. However, you and now Common Man, the two people in my life who have both raved about somebody called the Quad God, who is basically maxing out the physical limitations of what you can do on the ice. Sounds like you got to see him take gold the other day. What's the Quad God like and figure skating in person in Italy?
I'm telling you, Nordo, it is. I actually have chills just hearing you say that. It's unbelievable what a human can do, right? I don't think a lot of us even, think too deep about it. We just watch them go out there and we're like, oh, all these guys are doing the same tricks. That's not the case at all. The Quad God is because he's the best at doing the 4 spins. That's the maximum amount of spins that you can do to get the highest amount of points. Now, there's 6 different types of spins, and there's how many times you do the spins, not to mention he did a backflip in competition. In figure skating, you're not allowed to land on 2 feet. You have to land on 1 feet. So imagine going out there on the ice, skating backwards, and doing a backflip and landing it on 1 foot. It's just unbelievable, the level of skill and athleticism they have, while the whole time they're trying to put on a performance, for the fans. So you talk about an athlete who's just completely at the top of his craft, arguably the greatest of all time, is him, Ilya Malinin, the Quad God. It's really something to see. If you haven't seen him yet, you got to turn your TVs on. You got to go to YouTube. You got to watch him because he's unbelievable.
Is Quad God drawing comparisons to the great Nathan Chen?
I think people, and I've seen it on, X, and I've seen it on Instagram, people are calling him maybe the greatest ever. Yeah. I don't think he's lost a competition in the last 2 years, whether that be, world championships or, other just competitions along the way. He's been undefeated, and he's going to take home a couple gold medals here in Milan as well. So you talk about an athlete that's at the top of his game. That's the definition of the Quad God.
When do we get to say hello to Taylor 9 to noon?
We got to make something happen, don't we? We got to make something work. We're about to get connected. We're about to meet up here tonight in a couple hours to get some dinner. But I'll make sure I tell you and her that you say hello.
Does she know 9 to noon is really into it, like watching every shift?
Oh, she knows. We've been talking about it. We've been talking about your text with me. We've been talking about me hopping on the show every day, which has been incredible. I appreciate you having me. And she loves it. And she's glad that people back home are supporting her the way that we are supporting her over here in Milan as well.
Well, I mean, in closing, Parker Fox from Milan, if she does get cranky, because people get cranky and this is a high-end athletic endeavor and bodies hurt and minds get muddled, you can surprise her with this if she gets cranky. You ready?
You bet.
Ti amo tesoro e si il migliore. Ti amo tesoro e sei il migliore. That is, love you, honey, and you are the best.
I always love that one.
Perfect. You got it. I'm writing it down in the notes and make sure she hears it from my mouth.
Well, or we can try. Superalo e solo un giaco te. Superalo e solo un giaco te, which is get over it. It's only a game, te.
I always love that one.
I'm sure she'll love to hear that one, right?
We want to write that one down.
Yeah, go ahead with that one. And finally, I don't know if Italians have kids talk like we mess around with over here, but Italians kid talk, you can begin with questo e eccesso, which means that's lit.
I always love that one.
Or maybe quello schio e fuoco, that bleeps fire.
I always love that one.
You think they got the modern lingo over here? I'm sure they do. I've seen a bunch of kids running around, and these kids, they're drinking cappuccinos at I saw an 8-year-old this morning in the cafe drinking a cappuccino. It's incredible.
Yeah, what is this, Wisconsin with somebody age 8 or 9 with a Busch Light? One-liner alert. Go ahead.
Let's try this one here.
Sei un cucciolo, un bambino.
Ooh, something baby.
Are you a puppy or a baby?
A baby.
Are you a puppy or a baby?
All I can say is questo e eccesso. That's lit.
She don't want a puppy. She want a big dog.
I mean, I watched that no-look pass from Abby Murphy yesterday, and all I could think of was schio e fuoco. That believes fire.
That believes fire.
All right, love you very much, buddy. Tell Taylor that we love her, and we wish her well, and we'll be watching every step of the way. All right, brother?
Yeah, sounds good. Great hearing from you guys, and go USA.
Yes, sir. See ya. He said, go USA. Hey, all right, coming up next. We believe Wobble Wobble. Lavelli Neal III, columnist, Star Tribune. From FM 100.3 KFAN. KFAN Sports Talk Time is 10:01. Paul Allen Nordo by my side. This is the Love Covenant.